Welcome to this episode of Chumming with Spirits. I am JD.
I am Parachum, and we are going to be talking about a cool cryptid tonight.
Kansas legend.
Looking for saucers in the black night high. Abduction dreams and alien screams. He says they're out there more than it seems. JD's got a lens hunting for Bigfoot's trace. Deep in the woods, in the shadows, embrace a rush on the ground. He's frozen in place. Did you hear that? Something's on the chase.
Should we mention our show sponsor?
Absolutely. Why would we not? Go check out the Rustic Supply Company, based out of Springfield, Springfield, Missouri. Well, there's a Springfield in every state, so.
Somewhere. Springfield, Missouri, part of the Arkansas Wacky Wednesdays, or Wacky Universe on Facebook. Greatly appreciate all the help that they've done for us.
Yeah, they've actually made these specialized signs. This one's not specialized, but that specialized sign for us.
That is actually the first one they ever made.
Yeah, no, I know. This is an heirloom.
Yeah, we got to go have him sign it.
Oh, or laser engrave it, like have his signature.
Then,
yeah, oh, that'd be cool.
Look out for James Pond. They're always running around. Now this episode, it's a special, close to heart.
Yes.
Somebody's actually gone to the location inadvertently.
And inadvertently tried to recreate the incident that happened initially without even knowing it.
So we're talking about the Kansas cryptid first spotted in the 1920s, Sinkhole Sam.
Yes. So a lot of people might not know about this legend. It's kind of an obscure one-off, as you would say, when it comes to cryptid phenomenon.
At least in Kansas.
At least, well, I mean...
And there may be some scientific reason why it's not.
That we will get into later in the episode, yes. But when we're talking about Sinkhole Sam, you have to imagine yourself out in western Kansas, near Inman Lake, which we didn't realize is one of...
Technically, it's central Kansas, but yeah.
Well, it's west of us, so...
We're in the east corner of the state.
But I didn't realize until we started doing this research that Inman Lake was the largest lake in Kansas.
Largest natural forming lake in Kansas,
yeah.
Which is, it's also part of a sinkhole.
And an aquifer.
Yep, that ties into the aquifer. All the other larger lakes in Kansas are actually made because of damming.
Or the Army Corps of Engineers.
They're dammed.
Oh, is that what they do?
Yeah, they generally dam
I thought
up
they
a
dug a
river
hole
area.
and poured water in it.
Well, there are some very large strip mine lakes, but those are also man-made. They're dug down through the rock for the quarry, and once they hit the table water, it then rises up. Those are deep enough in southeastern Kansas to be certified for open water scuba, because they are
holy crap.
Some of them are hundreds of feet deep. And a lot of them have equipment down at the very bottom when they strike the water, depending on how fast it comes up. There's cars, there's trucks, there's
graveyards,
well,
churches.
That's the dams.
Dead people.
That's the dam areas. There's like Big Hill Lake, which there are probably some cemeteries down underneath there. There's Elk City Reservoir.
I know.
Milford. Most of the bigger lakes in Kansas are because of Corps of Engineering damming it.
I do believe the Tuttle Creek Lake Reservoir has buildings and stuff underneath.
Right, dead fish.
Dead fish. But imagine yourself out in central Kansas near Inman Lake.
By Inman, Kansas.
By Inman, Kansas. Makes sense. You come across a 15-foot snake Like creature with a fin swimming towards you, towards the shore.
With a big smile.
In the middle of Kansas. And it makes sense because Kansas, back in the day, before humans were around, we were completely underwater. So it makes sense that these cave systems and aquifers and all that kind of stuff could still be housing something along those lines.
Well, and Kansas used to have a lot more waterways.
Yes.
All the way, from the 1800s.
Until we dammed them.
Damn them all.
Yes, they did. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. One of the scientific reasonings behind.
So one of the earliest sightings of Sinkhole Sam was in 1926, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep, by a fisherman.
Who was in a smaller lake outside of Inman Lake, right? It was in a pond.
Yes. And he described a 15-foot long creature with a fluked tail and a non-snake-like grin on its face, which, unless you get close enough to a snake, which I'm not going to, how do you know what a snake's grin looks like?
They don't have one.
Fair.
That's why he says it doesn't look like a snake-like grin.
It escalated with this creature in 1952 when two Mennonite boys witnessed this creature and actually shot at it with a .22 rifle.
Shot it twice. It didn't seem to be bothered. It went underneath, but they saw it the next day because they had thought maybe they killed it.
Yeah.
And it still came back the next day.
Which is funny because Jason and I went out looking for Sinkhole Sam probably 4 or 5 years ago, and we went to the Inman Big Snake. I think that's what it's called. The Inman's Big Sinkhole, and there was a singular unused telephone pole sticking out of the water in the middle of it, and I had a .22 rifle with me, so I was shooting at the pole.
Let's not get ourselves incriminated on the...
Okay.
You were attacked by a beaver.
I did no such thing. I am not a criminal.
Under the directions of my attorney, I choose... But, so, Sinkhole Sam so the 20s, it disappeared for a few years, and then it popped back up. There's some theories on it, and in the 50s, they made fun of it.
Yes.
They made fun of the people that spotted it. They called it a Foopengerkle.
So there was a well-known reporter who liked to go around and write kind of funny, fictitious stories about oddities and all that kind of stuff. Whoa, I almost dropped my phone. And his name was Ernest Alva Dewey. He was made famous by writing an article where he explained UFO sightings around the area, and tried to explain the creatures that people were seeing as a species of dragons called the bald-tailed snicklehoopuses.
Which are not local,
yeah,
by the way, as he explains.
But he was well known for farsing and making kind of not fun, but light out of situations to make people kind of feel more. Yeah, satire. And he actually wrote an article about Sinkhole Sam that kind of took off and intrigued people, where he went out in search of this creature with a fictitious doctor named Dr. Aramis P. Quattlebaum. And in his story, they kind of made fun of Sinkhole Sam and coined the term Foopengerkle.
Yeah, a non-native
Foopengerkle that had migrated
through aquifers
to kind of check out the area, and like he was on vacation.
And that was his above-ground pool that he got to swim in before he went down below and disappeared.
And they kind of mocked Sinkhole Sam in the capability that Foopengerkles were extremely stupid, and so stupid that he was the only one left and didn't realize that he was extinct. So it kind of caught traction with readers and people that were interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, drew crowds. It's still, it's actually one of our more popular patches. When we mentioned that we have something about Sinkhole Sam, a lot of people get pretty excited. We have signs that said in Kansas, you don't eat the worm.
The worm eats you. Yeah.
And then we got little leather patches like stuff like that. That's it's Sinkhole Sam, Kansas legend.
The interesting thing that I find about the whole make-believe farce issue with this thing is he actually went out there because of real-life claims. So
this is not... So the people that... You have to understand, Inman, Kansas, in the 1920s and 1950s...
Small-town America.
Is still... Yeah, I mean, Inman was under 500 population.
Yeah.
You say something funny, you are going to live with that for the rest of your life. The fact that these people were actually saying, hey, we saw something that was 15 foot to 30 foot long.
Yeah.
And they were publicly talking about it is a major deal. This is, Salt Earth people, they're not going to go and try to make themselves famous and stay in Inman.
No, yeah, it speaks truth to the accounts that they weren't making this up. And the fact that he followed a story that had such realism and belief behind it to end up making a farce out of it shows that, I don't know how I would say this. It shows that he kind of took it serious too.
There's a truth to that.
Yeah,
that legend.
It's like they say in sci-fi. There's a grain of truth to everything that's written.
Yeah. Same with American folklore. They're all based on some fact, some truth, and they grow from there. And I think Sinkhole Sam is also part of that. I think there is some truth to it. I don't know if it was 15 foot or 30 foot, but if we want to get into what it possibly could have been,
which we will do in the second half of this episode, I have to say though, when it comes to looking at...
You don't have to.
I do. When it comes to looking at the accounts from the Mennonite boys that supposedly shot it twice with the .22 caliber rifle, a lot of things take into account how they could have perceived that what they were seeing. An effect, like what time of day it was. Could lighting have affected shadow play, depth perception?
Well, and they described it as a large snake-like object with it had a grinning face, had a top fin,
yep,
and very long, snake-like, which is describing something that does happen in Kansas, but is more and more rare, which we'll discuss in the second half of this if you stick around.
But what do you think?
I'm not swimming in there. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not going to swim in a sinkhole if there's possibly Sinkhole Sam, which actually leads to, as you were talking about earlier, the aquifers. A lot of people know western Kansas, from central Kansas to western Kansas, there's a massive aquifer that even the Arkansas River that comes from Colorado, it actually flows underground in some of the sections of the river because of the damming that Colorado has done.
Well, doesn't the aquifer that doesn't it go from like Oklahoma all the way to like South Dakota or something like that?
And it reaches huge. All the way up to Salina, Kansas, Inman. In the, I would probably say the late 60s, early 70s, farmers started using more and more center pivots with wells, and due to western Kansas used to be a ton of waterways that as modern progression went, a lot of these rivers got dammed up.
Yeah.
And as that started happening, farmers had to pivot, and they went to center pivot irrigation systems, which drilled down into the aquifer, which over the years has dropped the aquifer. But it is a massive area underneath that goes from multiple states in the area. Some of it's granular, meaning that it's in between rock that's being pulled, but there's there's actual areas that it's an open cavern. That's where the sinkholes come from. Is as the water tables go down, it can create areas of where, since there's no water there kind of supporting the mass, it can create a sinkhole.
Yeah. So another point before we go to break here, to point out about the validity.
A point of a point?
A point of a point. The validity of the original witnesses, the Mennonite boys.
When in the 1926 was pretty
but
validated.
When you're looking at the time, the 1950s, you're looking at Mennonites. They weren't necessarily known for.
Oh, they've been beat for making up a story. Like
that. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not going to do that lightly.
No.
That to me proves more that they did experience something, and that they had belief in what they experienced.
So stay tuned for part 2.
Coming at you soon.
Right after this break. Hey everyone, this is JD with Chummin' with the Spirits podcast. What's the perfect way to spice up any recipe you can think of? That's right, it's the perfect sauce. Big Fork Brands has a wide variety of the perfect sauces for any occasion. If you're craving something special for that late night snack, mid-afternoon pick-me-up, or just something tasty for the special event, be sure to check out their amazing bacon sausages, paleo pork jerkies, and flavored meat sticks. Of all the products can be purchased at www.bigforkbrands.com. Here at Chum with the Spirits podcast, we always keep some of their incredible sauces and meat sticks on hand for those long days and nights of recording. Don't forget to use the code CHUMMING, CHUMMING, at checkout to receive 20% off your order. So welcome back. Chummin' with Spirits, I'm JD.
I'm Parachum. And before we went to break, we were talking about the Kansas cryptid.
Sinkhole Sam. Kansas legend.
Yes, he is. And it's funny that that only had like 2 real verified accounts of witnessing.
Now, the Mennonite boys stated they had seen it multiple days, though.
Yeah, but I consider that one incident in the long,
Yes, they had the main outbreaking when they were seen in the 1920s, 26, and then was it 1952 and 50?
But I look at it like this, the same as
same person seeing it multiple times. Is this one account?
The
one?
Boggy Creek, that whole thing was one incident.
It happened over multiple years, but one incident. Let's cut down the cryptid accounts. I see how you are.
But before we went to break, we were talking about the possibility of scientifically explaining away this event or myth or cryptid, and you came across some pretty interesting stuff that I think the people would be excited to hear about.
So now it doesn't describe it 100% because the length is the issue.
But I have a thought on that.
So Kansas, a lot of people know the American eel makes its way through 3,500 miles inland.
Are they called Merrick eels?
Yeah, Merrick eels. But they're very snake-like. They have a top dorsal fin, and they have a grin.
Yeah.
Their mouth goes all the way around. So
They're
from the description
looking
of what the boys said and what they were saying, other than the length, now they can get to 3 to 4 foot. There could be other issues, but they were known to be in Kansas. The farthest one in was actually recently found at Caw Point, which is
right down the street from us.
Not too far from Kansas City. It's past Kansas City. They used to go further into Kansas, but because of the dams that have been put up on the riverways, is blocked most of those paths to western Kansas. They're no longer there. So there is a high chance of probability that it may have been an American eel that got trapped and that just grew and kept on growing and eventually passed away due to life expectancy. The aquifers would have gave it a chance to be able to go down and swim around because they're capable of handling that type of pressure and be able to swim. But when people described from the two witnesses described it, it sounds very similar to an American eel, which is rare to see in Kansas anymore, and people kind of forget about it, that they used to be in all the waterways all the way across Kansas.
And there's a couple of other explanations that could potentially prove away that this was an American eel sighting. When you look at the way snakes, and correct me if I'm wrong, people, when you look at the way snakes and eels copulate, is that the right word?
Mm-hmm. Eels don't copulate like that.
They don't? Okay.
Eels go out into the ocean to reproduce. And they have actually, that's one of the weird scientific facts about eels. No one's ever actually seen an eel reproduce. They know they lay eggs.
Aliens.
But there is a chance of if something got caught, like blocked from being able to swim back to the ocean, that it could eventually die, but it may get extremely large.
Or it could be like our buddy and friend John Methenkamp, the legend himself, has talked about multiple times that it could have been a genetic one-off. I mean, I don't know if eels or...
I thought that was Matt Orton.
No, we talked about it on the last couple episodes with John, that birds have this gene. So do humans. How do we know that eels or snakes or whatnot don't have that gene that can cause giganticism?
Well, there's two different ways. Like when species get isolated, they can get dwarfism.
Yes.
Which has happened to elephants, or giantism. Pardon me, which happened to the Komodo dragons.
Yep.
If this species of eel got isolated and there was a breeding population, who knows? But my guess is it may have gotten trapped and it just grew until its life expectancy, which could be anywhere from 40 to 70 years, which would cover the two sightings, which would explain a 15-foot version and then a 30-foot version, and then it
then nothing,
away.
No version.
Because at that large, the amount of food it would have to eat, the Inman Lake would not be enough, because unfortunately the aquifer doesn't reach that many lakes. It's huge and it's diverse, but unfortunately there's only a few sinkholes that actually make it into the aquifer, and as it got that big, it would have problems getting through certain tight areas.
Yeah. And I just came up with an idea, and folks, you'll have to let us know if this is a good idea or not. We should start Sinkhole Sam Days, a festival to honor.
What if they already have one? Have you looked at it?
I have not looked. I'm sorry, Inman people. I will look, and if they don't, we should really look into it.
If you're from Inman, Kansas, please reach out to us. If you're doing Sinkhole Sam Days, we would like to be involved.
Be there in a heartbeat.
Yep.
But I mean, I think it needs to be honored. I think it needs to be not lost in the annals of history. Like, because it's an interesting story.
Well, you know what? We could probably get some water samples and send it off for spectral DNA and see if there's any eel DNA in the water.
Don't get me started on how absurd that is. Please. Oh, man.
That goes back to the Loch Ness Monster and the way they did their water samples.
I think Cryptids of the Corn, if they ever watch this, just had a heart attack. Justin's probably
beating his head against the wall.
He's like, I used to like them.
I knew they were drinking that leaded water down there.
But are these American eels that we're talking about that it could have been a potential suspect? Are they freshwater or are they saltwater?
They start off saltwater, and then they have a multiple life cycle. They start off as glass eels, yellow eels, green eels, and then once they're
black.
The last it's considered American eel, which is greenish with a white, like a yellowish underbelly.
Okay.
Has a top dorsal fin, but they change physically as they migrate into.
That's what aliens do.
Yeah. Well, like it is a very unique species. Look them up on Wikipedia or any other sources. American eels start out in the ocean and work their way in, and then when they hit a certain size and age, they migrate back, which could possibly be how this happened, as they migrated in
and got trapped.
And it may not have been just one; it could have been multiple. They couldn't get back, and they grew. Like you're saying, if there were multiple and they were all in the same area, you could get the illusion that there were 15 or 30 foot.
Yeah, if they were all congregated
close
to one another. What is the bone structure like of an eel? Is it like a snake where they don't really have many bones?
More like a fish.
Okay. So if there was
But they're not. Yeah, the skeletons are lightweight. They're not gonna.
Yeah, they're not going to last over time.
No.
So there wouldn't, from 75 years ago,
The
there
odds of
wouldn't.
finding the skull.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a chance if you want to go scuba diving down there.
Nope. I've been there. I mean, it is only 3 to 5 foot deep, the sinkhole, which isn't really that bad
Until something bites you.
until something bites you. And
If you find out it's American alligator that's been trapped, that would suck.
yeah, or a water moccasin, because those are prevalent out in western Kansas,
Yeah, They
right?
generally don't get that big, but I mean, you could see a six footer. I mean, that'd be a very large water moccasin. But
Aren't they poisonous too?
yes, they are.
Like worse than rattlesnakes?
No, but anything that bites you in the water that's poisonous is pretty dangerous.
Well,
Considering you could drown.
So that's one of the big things that freaks me out about bodies of water. Like I'm good
They're
when
wet.
when you go to the beach and you can like see what you're stepping on and like wading out into, but
Most oceans you can't really see that well.
like the I'm talking about the beach area,
Yeah,
like a foot of water. I don't like going into bodies of water that I can't see what's in the water with me. Like that freaks me out, especially if there's no bottom.
so you'd like to go to the strip mines where the water's crystal clear, but maybe 1,000 foot deep.
No. No. Because you can't see 1,000 feet down,
Oh, you can see way further down than what you realize.
but you can't see the bottom.
If it's bright enough day out, you might be able to see.
No, there could be lizard people,
There could be
or
things hiding.
octopus or krakens or who knows what in those.
Freshwater squids.
I don't care.
Jaws made its way
Yeah, no,
to an isolated
no.
strip mine or sinkhole.
I'll take a swimming pool any day.
You know, alligators can get in there too, but you can see it. Though.
But thank you for ruining that for me.
You just need to look in there and see if there's anything large and
Well, no, I have stories. One of the ladies I used to work with, her mom lived down in Florida, and she had alligator-shaped pool toys, like to lay on and stuff.
Oh, that's the wrong shape to have.
Well, she went out there one day and thought one of the pool toys had blown into the pool, and she reached down to grab it by the tail, and it was a real alligator. And I was like, yeah, I know.
I'd say get glasses so you can understand what an inflatable looks like versus a real one. Well, the bad thing is like they'll sink to the bottom.
I know.
So you literally have to be watching.
That's terrifying. This is absolutely terrifying.
So which would you rather have, an alligator, an eel, or a Sinkhole Sam?
Or a water moccasin, or a freshwater squid, or
Land shark?
some underwater serial killer that we haven't discovered yet. I don't know what that was. But yeah, Sinkhole Sam, in my opinion,
Is near and dear to your heart. Right?
is near and dear to my heart personally, but I think it's so when you look at specific cryptids from other states and all that kind of stuff, they're typically like iterations or forms of cryptids that are
Like a Bigfoot,
overplayed or well known.
Yeah.
This one's unique. This
Well,
one,
and could actually be a physically real creature
Yeah.
that unfortunately has passed away. But yeah, it's a very unique description. It does match physical creatures that are known that could be in the area. That just the size is off. Which, as you said, there could be a mutated gene. Every so many thousand eels, 1 in a million or whatever, can grow to that size in the right conditions.
yeah. So I think we need to make a Sinkhole Sam NATO movie where a tornado.
I think we head out there. We'll get you to wade about halfway out.
Oh, hell no. You couldn't pay me
You said
enough.
it's only 3 to 4 foot deep. We'll just get you to get out there, wiggle your toes around, and see what.
Yeah, like a little
Like
things
a
to
snapper
bite.
turtle,
Yeah,
yeah.
no. We'll get John or Matt to go out there,
Matt wouldn't be afraid. Matt Orton would go right out there.
and then you see him go underwater, and we're like, "Who's going in to get him?" Because I sure ain't.
Well, that's one of the weird phenomena in Kansas because of the sinkholes. They can happen in rivers and that.
So yeah, how does that happen if you're in a body of water that's in a sinkhole, and at the very bottom, the sinkhole opens up? Do you get sucked down through the water? Does it
Depends on
create
if
a pressure
happens.
variation?
It can. If it's already opened up, you may not even know it's there until you step there. And you just, because I used to, when I was younger, you go walking creeks and that, and we were walking in this one, and the water was about, 3 foot deep, not big, but, I think maybe middle school or freshman in high school. So we're walking along, and there's 4 of us. We're walking along, and somebody just disappeared. Like, woof, we're like, turn around, and then comes out of the water, and we found more of them, but in this river, there were sinkholes, and I don't know how deep they were, but they were deep enough.
Big enough for them to disappear.
Yeah, I stepped in one, and that's how I don't know how deep it is. It's like it literally I went to step, and I went underneath the water, because you're just taking a step, you don't realize it. You sink down, and you have to swim back up, and I didn't touch bottom, going from 3 foot of water to being
20 foot, possibly more.
Yeah, well, it was well over 10.
So what I'm talking about
And it
is,
could, who knows? There could be caverns underneath there. I wasn't gonna.
say you're wading water in a 20 foot deep body of water, and directly below you
It opens up.
It opens up. Do you get sucked down?
It could. Oh, it depends on how much. If it was an open cavern, it absolutely could suck you down in there, and you can see the whirlpool effects when stuff like that happens.
Man, that's terrifying. But let us know in the links if you've ever heard of
He
Sinkhole
scared you
Sam.
enough
Yeah.
to stay out of any waters.
scared me
Anybody's water in Kansas.
I don't think I'm ever going to go swimming again.
Let us know if you heard of this
Dang.
legend. Let us know if you're from Kansas, and tell you, if you are from Inman and would like to do a Sinkhole Sam day
that'd be
or
awesome.
days, maybe throw in a jackalope here and there. We're all about it. Throw a land shark in,
Oh, we could make a movie. Chumley the land shark versus Sinkhole Sam the Foopengerkle. That'd be a great movie.
Kickstarter. Fund us now.
Yes.
Go fund.
So
On that note,
make sure to like and subscribe. It helps us put out more content like this. Get
Come
to
with
you
the spirit
guys.
on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere. Please go check out our sponsors, Rustic Supply Co., Big Fort Brands.
Great meat.
And on that note, you guys have a wonderful day and be safe.
Thanks for watching.